This is hang on. We're live.
Oh.
I missed the I missed the button.
No, no problem.
Missed
We
the
don't need
button.
a button. We don't need a button.
You're listening to The Hang with Mike Manson Waters and Matt Spice Floyd.
Not done. Not done. Mother effer. Yeah, this is a bad one. This is a bad one. This is a real bad one.
You know,
By the way,
and we wonder why we can't win. No.
finalist. Finalist. That's not even the right one. I got it.
It's history with Trace, oh man. History with Trace, oh man, oh man.
Disaster.
Does he know about the First World War? Cause in class all he did was fucking stories.
I mean, if you want-
telling us about history.
I'll just beatbox us in. We can just,
Yeah, just forget it. We don't need no intro.
We don't need
we're
no
just
s-
we're just hanging.
stinking intro. Just hanging.
That's
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt.
That was a real botch job at the beginning there. That was
I'm getting worse. I'm getting worse
like
and worse.
we shouldn't have to because you're right. We're just hanging and there's
We're
no
hanging. We shouldn't even-
apologies needed for the intro. But on that one, I almost feel like we should just apologize a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it happens. It happens to the best of them.
Is that our apology?
It is what it
That's-
is. You don't have to apologize for anything anymore.
That's true. I like that approach. It's not an apology. Look, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's cluster. It's cluster F. It's the hang. We're just hanging.
Just hanging.
We're under no obligation to do anything.
I
We're
f-
just hanging.
Maybe in my tism brain that's going on, maybe I'm missing the music, that little portion of the music that we usually bump in with. I think that's what it is. Like it's like a piece is missing.
So I got you, buddy. I got you.
Yes.
Yeah,
that-
see?
Yes.
That streams the hang with Mike and Matt.
There it is.
Now we can start hanging.
Now, hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt. God, it was awkward. I didn't know what to do.
Now I feel
Now.
better. Now now it's a flow.
Just scratch the first 2 minutes.
It's a rhythm.
It's the hang with Mike and Matt. Pre-hurricane hang.
Oh my gosh.
Yippee-yo, another hurricane. Will it be all hype or will it be more than hype? I don't know.
I hope it's just hype, at least in our
I
area.
hope it's hype.
You know,
That's all I'm looking for is hype.
You know what's messed up though? I'm watching it and I'm watching the track and this hurricane talking Panhandle and Tallahassee and all this stuff. And you know, look, it's terrible to hit anywhere. Don't get me wrong, but here in Florida, our insurance is pretty crazy already. And every time a hurricane hits, I'm just going, well, there goes our rates. You know, like the insurance companies tell you that your rates are jumping because of, you know, hurricanes and blah, blah, blah. And like last year, we didn't really have anything, if I remember correctly. There was something slight.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet. Pretty quiet.
But when you talk to the insurance companies, it's, oh, well, you know, all the natural disasters and blah, blah, blah.
Climate change. I mean, it's going to get worse and worse.
All the stuff. So now I'm actually seeing a hurricane that's going to hit Florida, and I'm going, well, now the premiums are going to get raised for sure. Like now they've actually got a leg to stand on to where they can go, well, you know, Hurricane Helene, you know, caused a lot of damage.
Cat 4 up in the Panhandle.
Yep. And now it's going to, everybody pays. Pay up. Raise it, and there's nothing that can be done about it.
So Donna showed me an article today. I haven't read it yet, but it says the heading of the article is "How Rick Scott Ruined Florida's Insurance Agent, Insurance, whatever you call it." And I'm going to read it, and I guarantee it's gonna be artificial. You know, of course, you know I can see sometimes you get your rates raised if after disasters.
Sure.
But I'm thinking they're charging way too much, and that it's a big scam. Just like Rick Scott, it was admitted that he ruined the Florida unemployment service, like the whole system where you call in and get it. You remember that debacle?
I do.
Nobody could get it. We had the lowest rate in the country of people getting their unemployment because Rick Scott made it so you couldn't get it. It was, you'd have to-
Brilliant.
and then DeSantis comes in, and the people are still having the thing, and DeSantis goes, "Well, this is a real lemon. This is, it's he said this is a jalopy. It's a jalopy." And it was like 30, 40, $100 million. I can't remember. It was an exorbitant amount that they had already spent on that.
Sure.
So he had to spend another $30 million for a new system. And so Rick Scott did that. Everybody knows it. And he got reelected in the primary by 86%. People love guys that fuck them over. It's an American thing. He's one of the worst ever.
Dude, the Rick Scott thing, I mean, when he was governor, we went to Cracker Barrel years back, and we're in Cracker Barrel, and Rick Scott's in there with his crew or whatever, right?
His crew, what a sad crew.
Or whatever it was, and I'm like going, oh, there's the governor 2 tables over. And I can't remember if somebody asked, like, oh, we should get a picture with him. And I'm going, I don't have any interest in saying hello to him at this moment in time, getting a picture with him. In fact, I'm going to eat my cornbread. I'm going to stare a death stare at him right now, just because of like how tits on a bull that guy seemed to be, and just his past. I just didn't care for him.
No, he's.
Plus, he looked like Bat Boy, so I didn't.
I mean, he's an alien looking. So he's allegedly committed the biggest Medicare fraud in the history when he was in charge of the...
Paid a hell of a fine, too, if I remember right.
He was in charge of whatever hospital group. Then he went in and ruined our unemployment service and our insurance by, selling out to big corporations. And now he's in Congress. Lord knows what he's doing now.
The grift continues.
And people just keep electing him.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking? People, I just can't... I don't understand the world anymore.
It is a strange place. I mean, and not to get too like hyper local on some stuff, but I mean, even down to, and we talked about it. I think we talked about it on the VIP a little bit of the property tax increase, right? So locally here, there's a guy named Bon Ayers, right? Bon Ayers
Sounds good.
The superintendent guy.
Vaughn.
Is it Vaughn?
It might be Vaughn. I don't know.
Whatever snooty name he has.
He's pretty snooty, too.
Yeah, I never heard him talk until the other day. I was watching an interview with him, and everybody on the couch looked at each other, and it's just that, it's the thing of going, all right, okay, moving on.
Okay.
And, but they were, the news was showing this story, and they're going, and, the property tax increase that's proposed by by Bon Ayers, the superintendent of the school system who makes hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They were showing the news story, and they go, and this man walked into the meeting thinking that he was very much opposed to the increase, right?
Yeah.
And they showed a clip of him then. He's going, yeah, I don't think this needs to happen. I'm not for any tax increase. And then the news reporter's like, but he walked out singing a different tune. And they going, well, after hearing him speak and, I understand, look, I didn't know teachers get paid so little and bus drivers and, those are my kids on that school bus. And I only want the best school bus drivers driving my kids around. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you walked in smart and you walked out a fucking moron. You regressed during this meeting because you walked in with the right attitude of going, no more tax increases, never vote for a tax increase. And you walked out going, yeah, they got a good point. The school bus drivers are pretty shitty. I think we pay them more. And all of a sudden we're going to get really, really good school bus drivers. And yeah, those teachers, yeah, you know what? When they went to college and went to school and knew what they were getting paid from the day they stepped into a school, yeah, you know what? We should give them another $6,000 a piece. It all just reeked of going, I didn't know that guy was not too far from my house, but I was going, man, if I would have known that meeting was going on tonight, I may have, doubtfully, but I may have thought about going down there to give a piece of my mind, but probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But the way that the news presents it, all news stories, not just that. That's just a small little level to it. But in the greater it's so disgusting. And the fact that guy walked in and said that he was anti and walked out pro was even more disgusting. You just gonna change your mind like that? That's it?
Well, it's either that's the plan, because it's a tough sell. So they already got a plan. They're like, okay, the county commissioner's going to say no, but we're going to talk you in it. You're going to realize the error of your ways.
Yes.
We really need it. It could be that, or they just know. I mean, the politicians know. Don't say no. Always say yes to the new tax.
Dude.
Go for what do they got to lose? If it's going to get voted down, they've lost nothing. But if they get voted in, they get hundreds of millions of dollars to steal and squander and give to their crony friends.
It's, yeah.
And when are we going to learn? Okay, the lotto for education, right?
Yep.
And it was when they were building Ray J.
Yep.
They tacked that onto the education. And you know what? The education has gotten steadily shittier with every tax increase.
No, but here's the thing. Now, Mike, if you give the teachers more money, they're going to become better teachers. Don't you see? Now they're motivated, just like the school bus drivers. They don't make enough money. But if those school bus drivers were to make more money, all of a sudden they're going to drive better or something like that. All of a sudden they're going to be able to hire the cream of the crop school bus drivers that before were terrible ones. But now that they're making
Finally. The teachers, I'm sure the teachers were making the equivalent back, 20, 30, 40 years ago. It was, they weren't making as much, but it was par for the economy and everything.
It used to be a respected profession, if I remember correctly.
I had a bunch of good teachers.
Yeah.
I had some bad ones, but I had mostly good teachers. And they weren't making dick. My dad had to get a job, during summer break. So
I thought
to
all
supplement
teachers do that
yeah.
just because that's the way it goes. You only work 9 months out of the year, and then you go, all right, well, let me pick up something for a couple extra months, or you teach summer school and you get paid a chunk for that. Like, I just figure that's the way it goes. But a teacher's one of those things, and I love teachers. Don't get me wrong, but like what you're getting paid going into it. There's no surprises. There's no shocks. There's no sticker shock. They don't put the contract in front of you and you go, well, I didn't go to school for 4 years for this. You knew exactly what you were getting yourself into.
I mean, I agree with that. I just think we should pay teachers a little more.
Do you think? Okay, so you're for the tax increase?
No,
Is this what you're telling me,
No,
Mike?
I think they should quit stealing our money and run it.
So you're saying we have the money? They
Yeah,
just
they
have
just think-
misappropriated it.
misappropriating it
Fair.
and stealing it. It should go to the teachers, and teachers should make enough money that gifted people who want to teach will draw people into the profession, because you can't go to school for 4 years and be a teacher if you don't have the teacher factor. If you're just going to drone on up there, you might as well not even. We're paying you for nothing because nobody's listening. You've probably had teachers where it's just like, and then there was turn to page 36, and it's just like this guy blows. We need really good people who want to teach and motivate children, and we need to pay them well. But that's never going to happen, buddy. Ever.
In my world, the teacher that stands out, she would, like you said, drone on and on, very like monotone voice, and she had a tick where she had big breasts, but she was gross, so it was like kind of like evened out. So terrible to say. I was like 14, so you can't hold it against me now. I mean, now I'd probably now she would be in my peer group. I'd be like, oh yeah, look at them heavies. But she would do this tick, and she would take her arms and like move them in and bump her breasts up, like raise them up, like every 10 seconds. And
Every 10. I mean, was that like?
It was constant. It was consistent.
As a 14-year-old, was that like your favorite class or what?
Well, you'd think so, but she was so monotone and so boring that it became an annoying tick. What should have been a cool tick to a 14-year-old boy became an annoying tick because everything else she had sucked around it. So that's the teacher that I remember that was.
She was so boring, she made her breasts boring.
Yes. And as a 14, 15-year-old boy, like that's difficult to do.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, you're pulling off something there.
If you're a boring person in real life, you're going to be a boring teacher. I mean, it doesn't. It's just the way it is. You should have to audition to be a teacher. They see like you get a bunch of people say, all right, we're gonna stay in here for a week and see how you do.
I was watching. How many times have you seen Billy Madison, the Adam Sandler movie?
Probably only clips.
Oh my God! You
been-
don't watch that movie like every time it's on?
Never.
Oh.
I've never seen Billy Madison. I've seen plenty of clips.
Oh well, then it won't resonate with you at all.
Probably won't.
I watch that movie nonstop whenever it's on. Like it's
Probably whatever was going on in my life was not watching movies or something.
How dare you? Well, it's a terrible classic, but it's yeah. But the teacher in it, Miss Veronica Vaughn, she's a steam.
Is she the one who was in Modern Family?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't think so. She's.
I don't know. That's all.
All I know is the fun fact about Miss Veronica Vaughn and Billy Madison. She's married to Pete Sampras, the tennis player.
Pete Sampras.
That's all I know. But she was sexy. But I just remember Billy Madison. He goes, the teacher's droning on, and he looks around the class and he's, chlorophyll sounds more like borophyll, and it's such a dumb joke, but it's exactly the way I felt about most teachers, where you just want to go, this is so
bad.
Yeah.
You're just looking at the clock going, anything but this. This is the longest 48 minutes of my life.
yes. And when the 5 minutes before the bell rang, people would start rustling, and you'd go, oh. We're almost out of here.
almost there.
It's
Get
almost
Nancy.
done. Yeah, you start putting your books in your bag, and then bell rings. That's it.
Shitty teachers. Why-
Even the best teacher can only. What's the attention span of a kid? 13 seconds.
if
right?
Yeah. But
mean,
if you got a
even if
good
you're the most
teacher, you can,
entertaining
teacher.
If
But
you're an
you-
entertaining teacher and you're a dude, you're looked at as a pervert. If you're an entertaining teacher as I don't know. I don't know on the woman end of things how they look at it, but from a guy end, if there was ever a very entertaining male teacher, it was typically because they were a little younger and they had energy.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, this guy's not here for the teaching. He's here for for extracurricular activities.
So that's why I would never take a job as a high school teacher. It just seems like the worst place ever.
No, it's bad
It's
news.
just all bad. What?
How do we get on this?
Mr. Waters is so funny, and you got so you got 16-year-old girls flirting around your desk. That doesn't. No, go away.
Yep.
No, I must get out of here.
I brought you something.
So
Happy birthday, Mr. Waters.
And-
like, no.
And then all of a sudden you didn't do anything, and then you get accused of something, which is highly possible. Like, some girl, you gave her a D or something. Fuck that.
I did look up a hot teacher I had about a month and a half ago. For some strange reason, maybe because I was watching Billy Madison. I don't know. And I was like, I remember I had a hot teacher, and I looked her up, and I did find her. At least I think it's her, or a rougher version of her than what she used to be 30 years ago. I was expecting the same teacher,
Yeah, well,
I didn't expect her to age by 30 years.
I had my 5th grade teacher was.
You're sexy. You had a sexy when you were in 5th grade.
I didn't really know it. All I know is she wore these real tight dresses, and I found them intriguing. I didn't really. I didn't even understand. I was just
intrigued.
like, yeah, but she would always wear these tight dresses.
Like, when you look back on it, were they overly tight, like inappropriate, or it's
Almost
just
seems like it,
okay?
if my memory serves me correctly.
Now, going back as an adult you, but still at that age, do you feel like adult you would have been like, oh yeah, this lady's pretty attractive? Was she?
Oh yeah, I contacted. She followed me on Facebook, so she's a Facebook friend now. And we talked.
Well,
I didn't
now-
tell her that I thought she was hot when I was in 5th grade, though.
How old is this woman now?
She's getting up there, I would imagine.
Can I see a picture of her off?
Oh sure.
Yeah, I'd like to. I feel like I could look at her and go and be able to do like a retro thing and go, oh yeah, I bet back in the day I could see it, but I'd have to.
I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
See, just to show you how everything. My dad was like he seemed to be good at his job. He's a principal. He raised money, and got the whole school air conditioner. He was, which is a bitch in Florida.
Well, again, that feels like something that we should have tax money for already, and should be not an issue. But go on.
Yeah, and but let me. So he was, he seemed to be pretty good at his job. His school performed well, but. Like when it came, like he picked my teacher, he'd pick the kids who were going to be in my class. He put.
Oh, he would like handpick them,
oh,
like
yeah,
a draft.
He did a whole kind of, there was finagling going on. But I think
He was fan dueling the.
He was fan dueling
the classes?
my class. So he was a good, he was good. My dad was a good guy. He wasn't like a cheater or anything. But he was
debatable at this
well,
point.
But
I
hey,
don't know.
but when you get certain power and you can do certain things for certain people,
So what would
even the best of us
so
do
he
that
would
shit.
cherry pick the kids.
I make sure I had a good bunch of cool kids in my class. Not a bunch of troublemakers.
Would he do this for other people too, or just because you were the son?
I was the son of the principal.
Oh man, the kids must have hated you, right? Or would they think you're cool because like your dad's the principal? Like that's a rough line there in the sand. You can either be looked at as a really cool kid, like oh your dad's the principal, or it's like dude, don't talk to Mike.
I don't know.
His dad's the principal.
I didn't really notice that much. I just seemed like others. They're like the one time somebody said something. It was like on the playground, and we were arguing about some call in kickball, and this one kid goes, "You just think you're cool because you're the principal's son," and I was just like hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
And then you went to your dad and you said, "I want this kid out of my class immediately."
He was expelled the next day, as he should have been.
He was a troublemaker. He was no good. He didn't belong there.
He didn't. So yeah, everything's corrupt. Somebody's pulling the strings for every single thing out there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's a lot of madness. Oh, speaking of pulling the strings, yeah.
Pulling the strings.
Never mind.
Oh man, that's a real tease.
Well, I mean, the best of the Bay.
That's where we could be there right now.
I'm glad we're not.
I'm so glad I'm not. You can I can guarantee. Like I said, everything's rigged.
Yeah, I found out some information,
rigged.
which was a little.
I'll give you my spiel, and
Go
you
ahead.
can tell me
Sure.
the real spiel. It's like you've been in radio, and you know how all the contests in radio are completely rigged. They're totally rigged.
Not all.
There's a very
back in the
large
day.
portion
There was a
that are-
large portion.
large portion that are rigged. And so I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, so this, if you don't buy tickets, people place ads. If you're giving that publication money,
Yeah.
it's like radio. If you said something bad about McDonald's, you get fired. And so I'm sure that's how it works. It's like so I was like, I'd rather sit here and find out later that we missed out on winning than I would just go there and go, yeah, this fucking rigged deal and we ain't gonna win anyway.
I couldn't agree with you more. And what I'm going to say probably is it's pretty much piggybacking on what you're saying. So I'll save it. But yeah, there's so much effery in the world, and
so much effery.
and like there's just small scenarios, and it's like okay, if stuff can be manipulated on such a small level. Again, just think about how it's being manipulated on stuff that actually fucking matters to people. Like stuff that actually matters.
That's always been my argument. Is if down to this is a podunk deal.
Yeah.
It's not mean anything. It's not a Grammy. It's not an Oscar. It's it's a small time deal. But I guarantee it's way fixed and way corrupted. Just think of the president's the race for president of the United States. How fucking convoluted and corrupt that is. Guaranteed it is.
And I'm not going to jump right into politics here tonight because I don't think people want to say. But let me just reiterate my point from weeks back. I think RFK is a psychopath. I think he comes from a long line of psychopaths.
I agree.
And the latest story that I heard like last week about him cutting off a whale's head and strapping it to the top of his vehicle and dropping it off somewhere. Furthermore, like just bulletproof my argument of going, the guy's a psychopath, and anybody with the last name of Kennedy that grows up in that lineage is fucking bananas.
So let's get him in there, man. I'm looking for some bananas shit.
I mean,
We need to go bananas in this country.
like, how many animals can this guy chop up and strap to roofs and drop off in random parks? Like, at some point,
Some of the biggest animals in the world.
right? Like, there's got to be. Can we tie this guy back to some murders or something? Like, there's got to be a Chappaquiddick somewhere along his bloodline besides.
Careful,
old Ted.
Matt. I'll gotta find your mom and perhaps do the same to her.
Am I wrong on this?
It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. Like whenever
That's how you're going to describe it? A bit odd?
whenever I drive down the street, and occasionally you'll, maybe in your neighborhood or some road you always go down, you'll see a sign that says like Bob's Taxidermy.
Yes.
And you're like, why does Bob like
To stuff dead animals.
dealing with dead animals so much that he started a business out of it?
Yeah. And some people like it, but
I'm
most
sure there's-
people are it's filling a hole. For them.
As long as, maybe it's, keeps him busy. Otherwise, they'd be doing other stuff, maybe not so good.
But I mean, I liked RFK. I wanted to like RFK.
Maybe he's just curious. He's a very curious man
I
about
believe
nature.
I believe he's a psychopath. But there's two sides to him. There's also the side is going, well, our kids need to eat healthy foods. And that you go, wow, that's really admirable. And then it's like, oh, by the way, I've also been, sexting and chopping off whale heads. He's really got a wide variety of a personality type. But he's shredded.
You rather have, well, he's not, he's just going to be in charge of some cabinet position. He's not even.
But
maybe he'll clean house. Maybe he's totally in on it. I don't know.
I don't know either. But tell me the whale story. Between the whale story
it's
and the
pretty
bear
odd.
story are two that are,
Well, taking the whale story is bizarre. If you just take the bear story, which is all we knew before, you're kind of like, all right, okay, whatever.
No, wrong. At that point, I was like, there's something wrong with this man. That is not a normal person's behavior. Even if you're drunk, even if you're like, that's not normal. But then, like you're saying, then the bear story, and then all of a sudden, the whale story. And at that point, I mean,
You're like, gotta get off the train. You gotta get off the train.
My RFK train came to a stop. I think I've jumped off.
Do you think he cut it just after the blowhole? He wanted that blowhole, maybe. Maybe that's, maybe he raped the baby bear. And then threw a bicycle on top of it.
He's a Kennedy. I can't put anything past him.
So what?
Was-
I'd rather have crazy than
Oh, we got crazy.
I'll take crazy than the devious psychopaths on the like Nancy Pelosi, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer. Fuck all those people.
They're all psychopaths in their own little way.
I'll take RFK over all those.
But how did the whale story not come out prior to this, or even the baby bear story? Like, how did this?
The whale story was in a book from like 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and now and it didn't seem to make any waves back then. Nobody even read that and went, "Oh, this is concerning." Nobody, not one person.
This is odd behavior for a human.
Kids riding back with whale juice allegedly dripping inside the car. It's like, if that's like, she told the story, it's his daughter's story. It's like bizarre.
I was trying to explain to my son about Chappaquiddick, and I had a terrible time trying to explain it. And I was like, let me just find a quick recap video on YouTube that's like 5 minutes long and wraps up the whole Chappaquiddick scenario in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I found one that was like 9 minutes. And I was like, just watch this. And put it on. And we watched it together. And he's like going, all right, so... and this is he's a reasonable
Yeah.
guy, right? And he's going, so you're a powerful guy, your family's powerful, you come from Camelot, all the stuff, like, wouldn't you do the same thing? Like, that's what he's telling me. And I'm going, God damn it, he might be right. Like, you've got advisors and people going, hey, let's make a brief statement on it on Chappaquiddick. Let's just come out with, you say that you tried to assist and you couldn't, like, all the hits. And I'm going, man, maybe he's right. Like, maybe you do just in that world become that. Maybe you don't feel good about the decision, but you've got people and advisors and stuff around you and people guiding you going, don't do that, do this. And then it just sort of becomes
I mean, as a parent, you just, you're almost always going to stick up for your kid and
Right.
you're going to try to get him out of the jam.
Yeah.
It's just, it depends on how bad. I mean, I don't know about. See, nobody will ever know whether he was like, he went in the drink. It was like, you're on your own, and he swam away. That's highly possible.
That's just the way I remember it and watching like a movie about it. That's the way it looked to me.
That he swam away.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, he's a Kennedy.
And then
I'll come back for your head later.
right. And then who was the sexy Kennedy that died in the plane crash? The son.
Yeah, it was Robert, wasn't it? Wait. No, wait. What the fuck
man.
is his name? JF. John,
He did a parody song about
John
it.
F. Kennedy Jr., right?
That's right. Yeah, JFK Jr.
See, they got rid of him because with that pedigree, JFK, your dad was a president and he was assassinated. You just, they put you on the ballot and you win. It doesn't even matter who runs against you. So they had to get rid of him. They're like, yeah, this guy's too dangerous.
I mean, I feel like if JFK Jr. was still alive, there probably would have been some sort of potentially psychopathic behavior on his behalf as well. He just didn't have enough time on Earth to fully evolve into a true Kennedy.
Now, what do you think JFK did senior that was psychopathic?
Well, maybe not psychopathic in on that term.
Other than murder Marilyn Monroe.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, the philandering, the murdering. Yes, I mean, I'm sure there was stuff, but again, there was two sides. It's like, okay, he does probably, not to go off of the Trump saying of "Make America Great Again," but Kennedy probably had a mindset of being, hey man, we're gonna make America great. But I wasn't around. I don't know. But then the other half of them, it's like that split personality thing of going, but I can also get some puss. I can also do this out of this. Like he's working both sides.
I always have a hard time. It's like, so can you be someone who's like cares about the country and wants to make America great, but also a real sleaze in your personal life? I don't know if that can be.
Okay, here's my take on that. I think it can happen if you don't have a prostate. Upon
That's an interesting hypothesis.
Upon winning the election, if you have your prostate removed, then I feel like you stand a chance at only having, one end game. I know it's a weird theory, but if you take that part out of it, then maybe you become a good person, a wholly good person.
Couldn't they just give him estrogen injections instead of?
Nah, you don't want your president having estrogen. Nah, you don't want that.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Weird theory on my end.
Because I see. No, I think that
Vote
would,
for the guy with no
think,
prostate.
See, I don't think
No sex drive at all equals no effery, right? The less effery that you have, but then but you got to figure most of these presidents they're probably jacked up on something, right? I mean, they got
who isn't, especially
medical doctors
you can get
giving
the best.
Yeah, you can get the best stuff.
Why wasn't Biden on human growth?
Oh wait, no, yeah. Then my whole argument's thrown out the window with Biden because he likely has the prostate the size of an elephant, and he's still not being great. So, never mind. Forget my theory.
We're getting into politics.
Yep, sorry. No,
But or maybe they didn't give Biden. They didn't give him the goodies. They're like, we're just going to let old Joe become president and wither away, and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't figure it. I can't figure this shit out.
Don't ask me. I will say I am excited to watch the Netflix documentary on the Vince McMahon. It dropped today.
It didn't, but he wasn't he alleged like he was pooping on women?
I don't know that. I haven't. Okay, I haven't
stuff
seen the
was
documentary.
real bad. Like it was real bad stuff, and then it went away 100%. For like 3 or 4 days, it was like, yeah, and he's doing this, and he pooped on women, and he did this and that, and you're like, wow, it's a real he's a real cocksucker. But then it went away.
The Netflix documentary just came out, and providing I have power tomorrow and I'm not, the hurricane doesn't shut my stuff off, I plan on watching it because I've been watching some clips of it, and it's pretty great. Like, I saw the trailer, and that was a good trailer, but then there's a couple 5-minute clips of different stories that have come out, and one is him, like with Stephanie McMahon, he did a plot line of an incest thing with his own daughter, and he kissed her on the lips in the ring.
Wow.
And then there's another thing where he was behind the camera while she was bent over a desk and doing this upskirt angle, and he was directing it. There's all these different things that are coming out. I'm going, okay, I can appreciate somebody being a creative genius and a madman and a businessman, all of the everything that goes along with it. But man, I don't know. That guy was taking it way too far.
What is the average wrestling fan at WrestleMania in the audience do when Vince McMahon kisses his daughter? Are they like, yeah, Vince? I mean, what? Or was it outrage?
No, there was no outrage. It was part of an angle, and it was the Attitude Era. So in the Attitude Era, everything, it was everything's a go. It was nothing was off limits. And then they were showing a clip of when Owen Hart died in the ring.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do we do? And he was like, show goes on. But I kind of get his perspective. In his perspective, he's saying, look, it was a terrible tragedy that happened. Fortunately, it was in a blackout period where people in the audience didn't see Owen Hart drop down. They didn't see it. It wasn't the lights were off and all that stuff. It just happened. So he was like, they don't know what happened. He's like, they came here for a show. He's like, show goes on. He's like, if it was me and it happened to me, he goes, I would fully expect the show to go on. And when that is a different type of dude right there. That is a...
but I kind of agree with that.
I kind of agree with
that.
Same. That's the difficult part is there's all these different edges to his personality that make him what he is, but some are kind of sweet. And that's one of them is the show goes on. I mean, there's a hurricane outside. The show goes on. Here we are.
It's pre-hurricane hang. If I die during the hang, I want you to continue for another hour. No, if I die like
I'd
that,
chapappy you first.
Please, I'm dead. I don't want to. You're ruining how many 30,000, 40,000 people's night, and also the people all on pay-per-view. If it's one of those deals or at home, you're ruining. You're totally. They came out to. Hey, shit happens.
It's all very strange. And then he was the Bret the Hitman Hart, his Montreal screw job. I was watching a clip about that, and Vince McMahon, it was a screw job. It's always been a rumor, right?
Yeah.
Where he lost his title and all this stuff, and it was always a rumor. They knew what was going on. They didn't know who knew what. Blah blah blah. Well, in this documentary, it's no. Vince told anybody that knew what happened, you don't say anything.
Yeah.
You know nothing. And he took the heat for it. And Bret ended up coming in and punching him in the face and all this stuff. But I'm going, again, that is a different kind of dude. Most dudes aren't built. 99% of people aren't built like that.
He's a sociopath.
Yeah. Yeah. And then all of it. And he's going, well, they're like going, well, and what percentage of Vince McMahon is, would you say, is the actual character versus your real life?
Yeah.
And in his opinion, totally separate.
Yeah.
No, it's not me.
See, you are seeing the parallel, aren't you?
I am.
Okay.
Now that I am. And everybody else around him is going,
It's stick, cousin.
yes. And everybody else around him is going, no, that's him.
That's exactly who he is.
And the only person that doesn't know that that's him is the dude. It's like, oh, man, how do you not? How does everybody else see it and you don't see it?
Or do you know that and you just, like everything else, you're just lying? I'm completely different up there.
That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. I don't know the
Easy
answer to it.
Rider, subscribe for 25 months. Thank you.
Easy Rider.
Easy Rider. I think I missed another one over here. Let's see. There's a lot of chat we're not looking at.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. You're right. We should totally look at the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Anthony. Subscribe for 9 months. Appreciate
Is it
that.
not Anthony?
It's Anth and then O and then a Knee, like knee.
Oh,
So it
I see what he did
took me
there.
a while to wrap my mind around it. What? Anth O.
I hate names that are weird, even in real life.
Oh, there's so many weird names now. So don't even.
Dude, it has gone off the rails, even down to like Malik or Malik. I'm going, this has like 5 different ways I can say this name. I don't know what to call this person. Anyways.
I think I saw a football player and it was something. His name was like Quintillion or Quintzillion. You know, it was like wow. I guess that's probably get drafted. It's a great name. If you want to see that, if you want to buy that jersey.
There are certain names that you look at and you go, he was destined for something. Whatever that something is,
Yep.
like greatness, whether it's athletic, whether it's political, whether it's entertainment, all those different. Sometimes you can look at a name and you go, huh, yeah. Or so many names that are kids, something that's kind of different but kind of cool, and you go, that kid's gonna be a stud. Like that kid's gonna be all right.
And sometimes they turn out to be a stud.
Yeah, like his name's Chad. It's like, oh, he's a Chad. All right.
I wanted to name Trace Torch.
If he turns out to be a pyromaniac, though, like that would have been apropos.
Torch Waters. I'm telling you.
Wait, you're serious or you're like half kidding?
Because like when I
Did you bring it up for discussion?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And how did that go?
Well, it didn't go my way, obviously.
Sure. Did she set? Was there names that you had a list and you're like, I want Torch, and she's like, I want Trace. And
No, it was like Torch was just a nut.
it was a non-starter.
It was a non-starter. But if you go out, if you're going out and you're scouting somebody in football and their name is Torch, I think you're like, well, who's that guy who played it? Yeah, it was that Torch guy. Yeah, see.
That's where I think that's where the middle name comes in, because with the middle name, they can always pivot to that and they can always run with that one, right? And then.
So we should have named Trace the Torch Waters.
Well, I don't know about the in front, but sure, yeah, why not? Like that's where the middle name I feel is like the place where you got a little room to have a little fun.
Yeah, because you can hide that.
Yeah, you can.
Nobody
hide
ever
it.
knows.
Yeah, you just put
that you're Cornelius Lloyd.
right. Exactly. Yeah, nobody knows. Butch. That's my middle name.
Butch.
Butch.
No, it's
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Named your kid Butch.
My family.
Butch.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
How have I never? You're lying.
Matt Butch.
You're lying. You're such a
Is it
fucking
not
liar.
fitting to me? Does it?
No.
Can you not see
I
that?
can't see anybody's middle name being Butch.
Oh,
I thought Butch was like a nickname.
It's a middle name in some cases.
So lying to me. Matt Butch. How would I? Oh shit. How like? Did
How did you
the
not
old
know
boss
that?
know this? And I can't believe he never. And by Butch. How did not? So you're lying.
I'm totally lying. Yeah, I was trying to Brent Hatley. I was trying to sell it and trying to own it, but I can only do that so
I was
much.
about ready to give up. That was my last ploy. Was the
and then you just would have gone with it. If
yeah,
I
I was
had
gonna go,
sold
okay.
it for another 5 seconds.
Yeah, because I was like, if the old boss never did it,
I know
boss must not have known your middle name.
I know your middle name, and it's very it's very snooty. It's like you should be at wine tastings and things.
That's exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if we should give out your middle name, but that's up to you.
I'm sure it's out there. I was
Vance.
Vance, like J.D. Vance, I believe.
No, Vance is his last name. Vance is your middle name.
No, but my
Big difference.
My mother's maiden name is Vance.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
That's why I'm named after the Vances from Kentucky.
Oh.
Yeah,
How weird would it be to find out you were related to
J.D. Vance.
Yeah, wouldn't that be strange?
Call in a favor. Come on. JD,
my man. Been a minute. How are you? Just calling you up. Just giving you a buzz. What's good?
You gonna watch the presidential debate?
Did they both agree to it?
It's happening pretty soon.
Vice president. I thought you meant,
vice presidential. JD versus Walz.
I don't think so.
I don't think I will either.
Doesn't sound slightly interesting.
No, it
to
sounds
me.
like a couple of like a turd sandwich.
Yeah,
Double meat.
It's the douche versus turd sandwich, but like junior.
Yeah.
It's not quite. It's not the it's not like the Big Mac versus the Whopper, right? You got the big dogs, right? It's sort of like a double cheeseburger versus a checker burger, and you're going,
I'll pass.
I'm sure the burgers are fine, but I'm not gonna go out of my way for it.
I'm not gonna waste my time. I found the last presidential debate to be very frustrating, and it's like I don't think I'll watch any more of them. They refuse to answer the questions, and it's like almost infuriating.
You'll still watch the next one. If they have a next one, you'd watch
Nah, I turned this one off. I was like this. Me and Donna were like yelling at the screen, going to both of them.
I could imagine.
Answer the fucking question.
She's got to be freaking out.
Why? Because of what? Why?
Because she's very animated in some of those topics. Like she's not afraid to be like, F you. Like I can see her yelling at a screen.
She's not happy with the way the world's going right now either.
Well, you said did you watch any NFL this past weekend?
I watched the Bucks.
So you've already gone back on that.
But I've only watched the Bucks. I haven't watched any other games. And after the debacle this weekend with the Bucks, I'm like, fuck. I mean, I'll watch anything. I'll just watch college. College is more fun.
My what would he be to me? I don't even know. My nephew? I don't know. I family tree.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Not my strong suit. My sister's son.
Your nephew.
Mm-hmm. He had a good game this past weekend.
Who did he play for?
Howard, wide receiver. He was.
I thought that was an all-black school. Why was I thinking Howard was all-black?
It is. It's a historically black college. I mean, he's kind of black. I don't know.
He's got enough. He's got enough to make the.
He's got pedigree on all sides.
I think they do let. I know there was some white kickers on the Florida A&M.
I love the Rattlers. When I used to go to man. When I used to go to FSU to visit just friends and stuff like that, you go to the mall and because the campuses are super close, like Florida State and Florida A&M, not too far apart, and you go to like the Champ Sports, and nowhere in the country, in any other Champ Sports, could you find Florida A&M Rattler jerseys. I was like, oh, man, I want one of those Rattler jerseys so bad. But I was like, white dude, 18 years old, walking around, not going to fly. I passed on that.
I think they were only popular because of their band.
Oh, dude, their halftime shows are great.
It's one of the best in the country. And high school and college marching bands, and it's one of my pet peeves. I find them to be atrocious.
Okay.
It's a relic from the past. We need to really hip that shit up. Berlin, I had season tickets for the Bulls, the USF Bulls for a few years, and Berlin and I went, and we would just sit there at halftime going, are you shitting me? And now we're going to do a tribute to the musical Oklahoma. And it's like, they're doing stuff that's 50 years old, and it's like, They need to hip that shit up.
Yeah.
Guys with fluffy hats. Well, it's like the
Yeah.
stupidest shit
Meanwhile,
ever.
Florida A&M, the Rattlers go out there. They're just getting after it.
They get crazy.
Yeah.
Do that shit. That shit's good.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't know why. It's a good point. Why are all except for the historically black colleges that have the hip? God, that sounds white.
They have the rhythm. They have the rhythm.
The rhythm. Why is everybody else going so old? Like, do Coldplay for God's sake. Do something.
And even when they do Coldplay, it's really hard to emulate it with horns.
Well,
It's dreadful. It's dreadful, Matt. It's dreadful.
I hate the halftime bands. I
loathe them.
And I hate them in between plays when they're just up there and they're in the stands and they're just and you constantly hear that noise and I'm going, I've never in my life wanted to hear Ozzy just go I so bad in my life. Like, tell the kids, relax. Don't play in between plays. Just
Oh, see, we agree on that, but now we're parting ways because I think the bands add a ton of atmosphere to college games.
more than
Yeah, I think they do.
No way.
Yeah, they do. It's just a whole. That's why I watch college football. It's the atmosphere. It's all about the.
I'll tell you what. If you were sitting next to that band and you had you'd clearly be like, all right, let me get out of here. That'd be too loud, too much.
It might be if you're right there. Like every 3 minutes.
And they're moving the horn side to side in your face.
Smacked with a trombone.
Yeah.
I find when we had season tickets, the TV timeouts were like, okay, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
It just sucks the energy out. It's just like, okay, 4-minute timeout.
Yeah.
And you just sit there in the stands.
Is there a college team that's doing really good this year that hasn't traditionally done well? Is there anybody like a breakout yet? Is it too early?
I don't think there is anybody breaking out right now. I don't think there is. I'm trying to think.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
It's the same old. It's the top 25 is generally the same old top 25. Sprinkle in a few different teams, but mainly. Yeah, there's nobody. I'm trying to think of somebody tearing it up because that's who I love is the underdogs.
Well, okay, so
like Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. That's a huge upset. I was like, yeah, I watched it. It was like fucking great. And then they lost to Buffalo, which is a shit school, the next week. So
let me ask you the reverse of that. Who's doing terrible that's supposed to do good? Is that Florida?
The Florida State.
Florida State? Is Florida and Florida State both doing terrible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Florida State was undefeated last year, and they were bitching they got left out of the college football playoff.
Okay.
And they're 0-3 against 3 non-ranked schools, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Every kid in the portal yet, or what?
I imagine. And then the Gators are pretty. They're 2-2. They're pretty mediocre. And this he's in his 3rd year. And it's like they're gonna have to do. They could repeatedly make bad hires. They're on their 3rd 3-and-out guy. 3 years and gone. It's like, who's the fucking athletic? Fire that guy who's hiring these assholes.
So, coaching is a funny thing, and sometimes you can look at a coach and you go, that guy was destined to be a football coach and nothing else.
Yep.
That's the way I feel about the Detroit Lions head coach.
Yeah, that guy's good.
The guy that looks like kind of like a Sergeant Slaughter. Mm-hmm. Like you look at him and I don't know where he comes from. I can't remember his name. I don't know anything. All I know is every time they show him on the screen, he's hunched over like this, watching the play go down. But you look at him and you go, I don't know how old that man is. He's probably 50, 55 years old, somewhere in that range. And he's still kind of jacked for his age. He's on the growth kind of thing. And you go, that man is destined to be a coach. It doesn't matter whether it's a high school coach, college coach, pro. Like, that man's he's not checking you out at Costco. He could do nothing else. There's some people that just have that look. He's got the look. Then you look at the Miami Dolphins head coach.
Yeah.
And you go, boy, that guy, he looks like a rock star now. They were comparing pictures to him from last year to this year, and like he's got like curly hair, fancy sunglasses. He looks like he's just going to coke parties all night. Like, he's got a whole different vibe.
Unfortunately, that doesn't work out too well when you're having a shit season.
Is he having a shit season
Yeah, they're
now?
not. Well, Tua got concussed.
Oh, yeah.
And so they I don't know if they've won since.
Oh,
Have you seen the commercial? What's that guy's name from Detroit that coach?
I can't
Have you
remember
seen
for the
the
life of me.
Is it a Denny's commercial? What is it?
Oh, with it plays on the menu?
Yeah, he's doing the plays on the menu.
I thought that was clever.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Rare-
It's Dan something.
Is it Dan Quinn?
Maybe. Not sure.
I'll hatle you. It's Dan Quinn.
Yeah, you should just come out. Yeah, I can't do it. I need to do.
What if it is Dan Quinn? How
Probably
crazy would
is.
that be?
I gotta Google Dan Quinn. I bet. Are we right?
What
Why would we both think it was
unless
Dan-
he's a 1940s slave owner, I'm gonna be like, I don't know who Dan Quinn is.
He's an American football coach who's head coach of the Washington Commanders.
Wait.
How?
So I had a Dan Quinn, right? But it's not
and
the
he
same
looks
Dan
just
Quinn.
like he looks just like one of the guys you're talking about too.
He looks like he's destined to be a football coach. I'm half right. I'll take that as a win. It's Dan something. Dan McMullen? That sounds right. A McMullen sounds
Dan
right.
Campbell.
Damn it. Campbell. That's what I knew it was Campbell. I just was testing you.
A classmate of Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell's daughter reposted the family's home address on
Oh, I
social
heard he's getting stalked.
media following the team's January playoff loss. What a dick.
Yeah, and I heard like he had to move or sell his place or put it up for sale because people were coming to
God, I mean, I get
say hello.
liking football and having a favorite team. I totally get it. But like these people who like leave like dead dogs out in people's yards because the coach
So
lost
weird.
the game. It's like it's just a fucking football game, man.
Could you imagine being married to, like, if you're a woman and you're married to a guy and you find out your husband is one of these fanatics that does some shit like that? What do you do?
It's a deal breaker right there because you're mentally you're not right. in
You're
the
not
head.
right.
Do
Right?
you,
Like,
do you remember the guy that poisoned the tree in Auburn? It was either Auburn.
I
I think he was
he
was an Auburn or an Alabama fan. I can't remember, but they went to whatever city, Auburn, Alabama, and they poisoned this famous tree that people for decades have gathered around. It's the football tree, whatever. And he killed the fucking tree. And it's like, what a dick move.
I don't know. I think that's kind of funny.
It's a dick move.
It's kind of funny because people worshiping a tree or whatever, like the football tree, like that alone is stupid, right?
Oh, I'm bad about that, but sometimes traditions are cool.
Sometimes
Sometimes they're cool.
But you remember the Virgin Mary thing that we had
that
here in
was
Clearwater?
stupid.
That was stupid because people would gather around it and go, "Oh, they think it's a Virgin Mary, but it's really just a water stain on glass." See, that to you is stupid, but a football tree,
It's just it's just like a cool.
just a tree.
It's a cool tree. It's not like a normal tree. It's like a cool looking tree. Like there's the banyan tree in St. Pete or whatever, where people got hit by lightning. Sometimes you got a cool tree, and it's kind of a dick move to poison the cool old tree. It's a cool old tree.
What would you do if you found out Trace was like somebody, one of these fanatics who had done something like that, like put a flaming bag of poop on a coach's doorstep or something like that? Like, would you be like,
That's not that bad, but if he
whatever,
poisoned,
something-
poisoned a tree, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Why are you poisoning the tree?
Dad, it's just a tree. Who cares? They're worshiping false idols.
It's stupid.
I don't know. It would be
To
weird
get
to find out you were married to somebody that's
Oh, it's
a little
I
off.
I don't think you can be off like that and then normal in life.
well.
I think if you're threatening the head coach for the Detroit Lions, parked out of the side of his house after the playoff loss, I don't know if you're too. I don't know if you're too stable.
Speaking of the head coaches, who was the head? This was the best head coach ever. Actually, I tell you two. One, I remember partying with Wayne Fonts back in the day. That was weird. He would show up to the Cucks nightclub. It's like, is that Wayne
Was he a nasty?
Fonts?
Was he a nasty?
Yes. No comment. But who was the coach that was into the sucking toes thing? And
Oh,
he got
that was
caught in the parking lot, like licking this chick's toes.
See, to me that was fake because it was his video.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure he's talking about it the whole time. He's talking about his wife's toes, and he's like he wanting to suck her toes.
Was
and
okay?
There's a
So
whole
was
video.
It was his wife's toes. If it was his wife's tootsies, maybe
pretty
I
sure it
don't.
was
I
his
don't
wife.
feel so.
What the fuck's that guy's name? Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan.
Campbell. No.
No. Quinn. Ryan.
Quinn.
Rex Ryan. Thank you, Dave Primavera. Rex Ryan.
Dave
I'm sure-
Primavera. He sounds like he should be working in an Italian restaurant.
Rex Ryan. Let's see if I put a T in.
Rex Ryan.
Oh,
that's
they've already forgotten about the toes deal. Look,
Did he get the
it
toe deal
doesn't
scrubbed from the
doesn't even
internet?
come up.
Tell me he didn't get the toe deal scrubbed from the internet. If he did, God bless him.
It's got to be here.
Put in
Yeah.
Rex Ryan toe fetish.
Boy, they're really burying this.
If it's his wife, that's fine. For some reason, the way I'm remembering it was like he was in a park and somebody had videotaped him like sucking some chick's toes 2 cars over. And that's probably not it at all.
I think it was. Yeah, pretty sure it's his wife.
Oh, well then, let the man be. That doesn't seem so bad.
anything?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just
It's like a fake porno. It's like a
hold
toe
on.
sucking porno.
All right, hold on. One, how are the Tootsies? Let's take a look at the Tootsies. They look
They
even.
look clean.
They look clean.
Clean and even.
No dirt on the bottom. And then the headline says NFL coach foot fetish report is personal. That's fair.
just resting for a few minutes.
Oh, okay. There's no car trouble or anything?
No, not at all. I'm
no.
Okay. Oh, you don't have to put your feet in. You
Oh no, what a
Yeah.
terrible plot.
This is terrible.
can leave, man.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Back.
It's the Rex Ryan foot fetish, and
Oh, I don't
Toe
know.
it looks
gate.
right. Deadspin says it found the video on a foot fetish dating site. It was uploaded by someone with the username I Have Pretty Feet, and this person's online activity abruptly ended in 2009. Ironically, around the same time, Rex Ryan took the head coaching job with the New York Jets. Robbie,
That's all they're
if
gonna
this was
give us?
Rex or his wife, why would they post it online? I mean, aren't they just asking for trouble?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, perhaps that's part of the sexual.
But this it totally went away. It's like
Well, what year
he's
was
got a
this?
gig right now.
What's he doing
I think
now?
he's an NFL like pregame kind of guy or something like that. What year is this? 13 years ago.
13 years. Okay.
13 years ago.
Toegate. It was great at the time, though. It was pretty funny. I almost wish it had gotten more run now. That might be one of the funniest scandals of all time.
And I'm surprised he didn't have more legs.
And the thing is, the funniest part is like, it's not hurting anybody. Like, nobody's doing anything wrong. If it's between him and his wife, like, that's fine.
Yeah, I could care less. I mean, if you're sucking toes is
I mean,
way down the list on things that matter.
Well, the sucking toes thing is not. That's not what's weird. The weird part is the plot. You know, where it's like like a terrible movie script.
I wanted to see where it went. Did he just jump to sucking the toes? I mean, how do you go from?
Does it have him sucking the toes on video?
I can't. I thought it was more than that.
That would be funny
I'll
if you
have to
see
do some
Rex Ryan's
research.
face just come into view, and then all of a sudden he's.
I don't. I mean, I don't think you could see his face.
That would be total. That would be the best.
Toe sucking.
I mean, she's. I mean,
I think that's his wife. I'm pretty sure it's his wife.
why would you? You gotta. These people got to stop videoing stuff.
How would you? Yeah, I'd have to see the whole video. Like,
Would you, for research purposes?
Like, who did they bust him because they could tell it was his, his voice, or I don't understand.
It's got to be because it was his wife, right? Like, I mean, that would be how you.
Somebody put two in a real
Yeah.
real Donna Waters investigation.
Yes. Very deep undercover investigation.
Been all night tracking it down. I think so.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
How about a little P Diddy song?
So much action on that one, but yes, I'd love to hear a P Diddy song.
And we'll take a break. Be right back. We're long winded. I see. I took your advice. You said do a P Diddy song,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it. and put it on TikTok, and they took a shit on it.
Oh no!
It's because it's such a shitty song.
Well, what song did you do?
Well, to me, the most recognizable Diddy song is "I'll Be Missing You." See, I'd have to learn all this. I don't know any fucking Diddy. I thought he was a one-hit wonder. I don't know any Diddy songs.
I mean, we can talk about it when we come back, but that man is everywhere.
Who, Diddy?
Yes.
As far as what do you mean?
As far as everything, all this stuff that's going on, I was
you can't get away from Diddy.
not even that. No, it's the fact that man has had a tremendous career length, right? Like I was when I associate Diddy, I go back to Puff Daddy, and when I go back to Puff Daddy, I think of Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
And when I think of Notorious B.I.G., I think of his first album, Ready to Die. And I click on it, and I know Diddy produced it, whatever. Diddy is in like every single song on that album. Like he had managed to insert himself on every level of every one of his artists. It's a crazy thing. And then you go back and I go, well, have I ever had anything P. Diddy related besides albums? And I go, yeah, I bought a Sean John shirt one time. So
who's Sean John?
Sean John was his clothing company.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then it's like, have I ever had a sip of alcohol that he had anything to do with? It's like, yep, I've had a bottle of Ciroc. And I'm going, this man has infiltrated every part of my life without me even going to a party. Like that man he is everywhere. It's a tremendous.
I think if you have incriminating footage of sodomizing people, it gets you a long way. I think it does.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, Mike.
No? Well, I guess.
We'll take a break.
All right. What are we doing? All right, here we go. P. Diddy song. Be right back with more of The Hang. Justin Bieber was a young piece of meat. He got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. And I heard Usher had some sweet fucking cheeks. He got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. They look good. He gave them wine. They look good. They drank wine. Then they snorted a few lines. Before they knew it, they were between Diddy sheets. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. You must screw Diddy so he will help you succeed. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. They got drugged. He closed the door. He got drugged. He closed the door. When they woke up, they were sore. Whoa. They say Diddy liked it real rough. Yes, he did. He took videos of them all in the buff. Diddy likes young ones so they don't need to shave. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. Now Diddy's gone and his plane he flew away. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. It got weird. There were crimes. And Meek Mill did some lies and Diddy did him from behind. Whoa, you know Diddy, he sure likes them young. Yes, he does. And just like Jeffrey Epstein, they may find P. Diddy hung. Now they came to... They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. They didn't tell because they were fucking ashamed. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. He looked good. He gave them wine. They looked good. They drank wine. Then they snorted a few lines. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. They got screwed by Diddy, 'cause that's what Diddy do. Oh, that's a good one. Woo!
Back in 2022, I lost two very important people in my life. Big figures. It really wasn't until February of
So why do beavers build dams? Does
To
anyone
build
know?
their house.
Is that where they build their
nest
and-
in their house?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
But there's got to be like did they make it so they can have a big area
Nice
of
big
water
swimming area. It's
and then do their fish, hunting and fishing in the
something like
Why
that. That
do
sounds
beavers
like I
build
was-
dams? Beavers build dams across streams to create a pond where they can create a beaver lodge
It's for their house.
and charge other beavers money to stay at their beaver lodge.
I got a beaver lodge for you.
God. Gee.
All right. You kids if you kids wanna take off,
Forever
kids wanna
and
take
never
off.
come back.
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm crying.
And,
I think to end the show right now.
on that mic drop, I'm gonna go visit Donna's beaver lodge.
Stop. Go
see ya.
home. I'm going home.
Where you from?
San Fernando.
Okay. Do you have any idea?
Uh,
Are you visiting someone?
Huh?
Are you visiting?
Welcome back to The Hang with Mike and Matt.
The award-winning Hang.
Award-winning Hang. Best podcast
In
the
the
bag.
world.
In the world.
And thank you for spending your time hanging.
We appreciate all the votes from all over the world.
India was a big...
Yeah.
On our heat map of listeners.
It's kind of almost crazy. It's like 90% of our listeners are from India.
India.
A lot of clicks from India.
In one central area. A lot of listeners. Thank you, India.
Thank you, India, for making us the best podcast in the world.
In the world. We've it's official.
It's completely. We will be buying our trophy tomorrow.
And then we will be
Oh, shit.
placing a sign here and doing a thing. And then we will celebrate being the best podcast in the world at our
Meat Hang.
Meat Hang.
On November 16th.
That's right.
At Joe Whiskey's.
Joe Whiskey has been kind enough to provide us with the area.
That's right.
To celebrate
to
our
celebrate
win.
to hang.
Hang.
To celebrate and hang. It's a hang.
It's a hang.
It's the hang.
Should we do a live? No, we can't do a live broadcast because then we don't get a chance to hang.
No, you can't. Yeah.
That would be madness.
Like it'd be out of control. Shut the place down.
That might be fun though. I mean, it's your thing. Like,
No,
I don't even know how it would
couldn't
work.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah,
because these people want to hang.
Just be debauchery.
They want to his hang. Bubba's back crack sub.
Yeah, I heard we're in
Woo!
trouble.
We're in trouble.
Our executive producer Donna said we're in trouble for not talking to the chat.
Talking to the chat. We're just hanging.
Yeah,
We're
sorry
hanging.
about that.
We're hanging.
I don't know how to read the chat. I can't even see the chat.
But you need to get your phone out.
But it's on a delay, right?
It's like 20 seconds, so you can. Yeah, I mean, you can still look at the chat.
All right, maybe I'll try to do that.
Liar.
Well, because it's hard to engage. You got to pay attention. And
AJ Linger says, happy early birthday, Mike. That'll be Friday.
Wait, what?
Friday.
This Friday?
Friday, birthday bar show. Woo!
This Friday.
Birthday bar show. Yes, this Friday.
It's your actual birthday on that
Actual
day?
birthday.
Oh, man.
Hot damn.
Dude, having a birthday that lands on a Friday, that's awesome.
I'm just going to get tore up.
Are you?
Somewhat. you get tore up so many times in your life, you're like,
Are you getting bored with getting torn up?
No, but the after effects are like,
Yeah.
I can smoke and drink and not get too torn up.
Happy early birthday, man.
Appreciate it.
Wow. What are you going to do for it besides the bar show?
Doing dick for it.
I mean,
that's it. The bar show. If you want to get on my birthday action, it's the bar show. Other than that, I don't know. Harper's. There's a bunch of birthdays where all the parents in both families were having sex in January for sure. So everybody's birthdays in late September. You got like 7 birthdays.
Isn't that funny when like hurricanes come around and stuff like that, and they go, "Oh, coincidentally, the births are 9 months later." Like I don't know what everybody else is doing. I'm prepping and I'm hoping I have power, and I'm like hoping to maybe watch a TV show. Like scrumping is not on my list.
I guess not me either, but I guess we're wrong because the big blackout in New York, they had a big blackout. I can't remember what year it was, and then there was a huge baby boom after the blackout.
Right.
There's nothing else to do, I guess. There's no TV. There's nothing. Right?
Do you guys have any board game? You don't have a checkers? You have checkers around here?
Ain't nothing to do. I guess we should
Wanna hump?
In the heat with no air conditioner.
Let's make a blackout, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dark Passenger subscribed for 33 months. Thank you, Dark Passenger.
That was that old COVID thing, too, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's a COVID baby.
Was there a lot of COVID babies?
Yeah, there was a COVID baby thing.
I thought everybody was staying, not even touching each other.
Unless you were intimately involved. Then everybody else stay away. COVID baby, that's the move.
COVID baby.
COVID baby. I do think that was a thing.
I mean, there was these, because there was plenty of people. It wasn't me, but they were like, yeah, that was like 2 years of my life. I'll never get back. I never left the house. I was like, what are you fucking talking about? I never even lived my life 1 ounce different during COVID. What the fuck are you talking? We had like 17 parties here.
I lived my life totally different, but for the good. Looking back in retrospect, right?
Yeah.
Like in the moment, you're like, "Whoa, I'm going stir crazy," because it was an unfamiliar territory. It's like, what do you mean I just can't go here or go there? Like, but now I'm going. My whole life is living a COVID life now. For the last umpteen years, it's fine. I'm good.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a lot of parties here, but we didn't. I prefer to do that. It's just entertain here than go out and just like if you're gonna go out with 10 people and sit at a long table and you're gonna talk to 3 people, it's like it's not. Whereas if we do something here, we can all drink and talk, and it's more of like a party.
I even hate the idea of a long table at Thanksgiving. I hate a long table. You're only like you said, like you have to pick you got to pick the person that you're sitting across, and you got to hope that you can have a conversation with them, and then everything's going to go well, and then maybe the person left and the right. So you've got you're surrounded by max of 5 people that you're really spending your time with, but really it's the person across from you or it can suck.
Max of like 3 people.
Yeah,
you're talking. Oh, and if you get the worst is I've been stuck, going out to restaurants and get stuck at the end of the table, and then maybe not with
what's going on, guys.
And if the 2 people here aren't good or they're talking, you're just like,
yep.
Well, this blows. Don and I are big into seating arrangements. We're always like trying to, we got to make sure you're here, and he's here, and there, and there,
It made me think of that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where
Exactly.
Larry David, he's middling.
Exactly.
Like, who's going to middle tonight? Like, you have to have a good middle.
It's true.
Like, it's really
fucking true.
It's a weird sort of dynamic to think about, or of how true that is. But when Larry David did that episode of Curb, I was like going, I resonate with this
Oh, I
man
so,
right now.
So resonate.
Like it's.
I always go for, as soon as I get to a restaurant, I go right to the middle. It's like I'm not.
Oh, you take on the
I'll
responsibility of
take
middling.
that. I'm not going to get stuck on the end.
Sometimes I feel like being stuck on the end. Sometimes I'm going, I'll just sit at the. I call it the head of the table.
Head of the table.
I don't want to deal with all that madness down there. I'll sit here.
I'm not. Plus, the head of the table is hard to get the food. All the food's in the middle.
Oh,
of the
that's true.
table,
They
and
gotta
you're
pass.
just-
Can you pass that
it's-
down
it's
now,
the
please?
worst.
Yeah. I
It's
was
not all it's cracked up to be. The head of the table.
Remember, I was telling you last week, I think, about my wife ordered me these earbuds or whatever for my TISM, and I got them in the mail. And
I thought I was thinking baptism.
no, it's the other kind of
Yeah.
TISM.
Uh-huh.
So I got them in the mail. I've tried them on like one time. I think they might work a little bit, but I don't understand how.
They cancel out what kind of noise? Noise that you don't want to hear? Extraneous noise?
Well, first, let me keep in mind this is not like sponsored. I don't care if you. This is not. We're not that kind of show right now.
I do have a lot of artistic listeners in the chat right
Yes, if you have the same affliction, they're called Calmer. They're higher sound quality, less stress is their whole thing. But I'm going, I don't know how they work. I have no idea. So I took them out of the package. I'm going, all right, what do they look like? I'm curious, right? I'm going, like the Amazon package arrived. I'm like, here they are. Man, what a simple ass invention.
Hold on, like that camera right there.
And again, I don't know how. I've only used them like once, and now I don't know if they were. I have to like give them a longer test.
Yeah.
But it's probably stupid. Like where this camera?
Yeah.
It's literally look. Hold on. That's what it is.
It's tiny.
It's tiny, right?
What the hell is it? It's nothing. It's a piece of rubber.
Look at that.
I
So it's an earbud.
with no bud.
really.
With no bud. It's an earbud with no bud. That's how much are those? How much is that piece of rubber? Is it a scientifically designed piece of rubber? What the hell?
They say it's a scientifically designed piece of rubber.
Poppycock.
I've got to give it a fair shot, but that when I did have them in, they did seem to work a little bit, but I don't know why. I can't figure out why or what the reasoning is behind it.
It's a placebo effect.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because that's my thought process.
So your wife is buying into this autism deal. You've got her totally snowed. So you getting a lot of sympathy points or what? What's going on with this?
Don't diminish me. No,
I'm telling you, she's this close. She's had it up to here with you. So she's right here.
Here, bro. Here. There's a whole pamphlet. I swear to God, there's
how can you position them different?
I don't know. I haven't read the pamphlet. Look.
I mean, what is the?
You know, I didn't bring this in for you to
stick. You cram them way down there. And what does that do? I don't understand it.
Well, you and I both. I haven't done my research yet properly on it. But I mean, I guess
you have the stem and you have the exhaust.
Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
It's not quite a Shark Tank idea. It's more of like a guppy tank.
Interesting. Calmer. Is that the name of the product?
I guess.
Calmer.
Oh,
we gotta get the earbuds. We gotta calm Matt down. Matt's getting ornery again. You know he's got the tism.
When she says she bought me something to help my whatever, and I go, it's not earmuffs, is it? So I was like, please don't make it earmuffs. Don't.
Those are cooler than earmuffs.
They're way cooler than earmuffs. But no, man, the noise, like you don't get any place where the noise just becomes too much and like, I got to get out of here.
I mean, when I go,
That's what this is for.
well, not get out of here, but every time I go to a restaurant or a bar, I'm like, I can't hear. All I hear is this. So maybe I'll get me some calmers.
That's what I'm saying. Like if
I would use those for that because I find bars and restaurants intolerable with the background. People just blabbing. It's like,
yeah, and
maybe
I
got the tism as well.
Well, and I don't even know like about hearing aid technology and all this stuff, but I was at Best Buy. This is, I don't know, a few months ago or whatever. And they sell like hearing aids in Best Buy now. I'm like, and I just happened to walk by. I thought they were like the Bose.
Probably the best high-tech hearing aids.
Yeah, I thought they were like the Bose
Yeah.
earbuds. You know, but I'm going, oh, they're hearing. But they have like different settings. They have like restaurant settings. And like these different settings where it's like, okay, this is supposed to eliminate this noise and this noise. And I'm going, even if you don't need hearing aids, right? Even if your hearing's good, if that works, wouldn't that be cool to be able to put it on a restaurant setting and go, I'm going to tune out all this other bullshit. I can just tune into you. I can tune into the person I'm talking to.
Absolutely.
That to me seems, I don't know if that's the way it works, but it sounds good in theory.
Let me know. Wear them to the meat hang.
Just gonna walk around.
And people are like, I tried to talk to Matt, but he's being a real dick. I say he doesn't hear me.
He's got his calmer buds in. Don't talk to Matt.
He's got the tism. Leave him alone.
I'm gonna wear earbuds there. I'm gonna wear earmuffs. I mean, it's big old earmuffs.
Big old earmuffs.
Yeah, big winter earmuffs.
Which one's Matt? He's the guy with the earmuffs on.
Have you seen my baseball?
November 16th, Joe Whiskey's, Wesley Chapel, Florida.
And you said they know you're coming.
Maybe not yet. I mean, it's like a month and a half out. She's definitely going to give him a couple weeks' notice.
Have you had people like RSVP?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like an email that goes out, or
No,
people just kind of
they
like
just like, we're coming.
Okay.
We've got people coming from North Carolina. Maybe last time we had some people coming from Colorado. It's a big deal.
Now, do you get them some sort of present for arriving?
No, they come bearing gifts for us.
Oh, that's the way it goes. So you don't have to like bribe them with rings or anything.
No,
is what you're saying.
It's pretty cool. Somebody come all that way to see little old us.
Little old us.
I really appreciate it.
What was there somebody there last year that got like out of control?
Sean Raz.
That was quick. Didn't expect that quick of an answer.
Sean Raz is always the life of the party. he's always the one. There's a little too much.
Like to the point of puking?
No, he's just. He gets razzed out. He gets totally razzed out.
That's awesome, though.
No, I'm not complaining. Not out of control. He's just.
Oh, here comes
the Sean Raz defender. He's just super drunk.
Come here. What are you doing?
He gets
Come
super drunk. Come here.
Come on in.
What are you, P. Diddy?
Come here. I gotta show you something. Come here. I got lube. Come here.
He's got to take care of business. Jamie the plumber, 2,000 bits. The Ned thirst trap is still up in the air. Nobody's claimed a Ned thirst trap.
Why?
This week, Kevin J.K. won the Big Dick Liquor Award. Now, I could show you the.
You showed me the thirst trap last week.
So I haven't shown you. Didn't I show you?
No, you did show me the D-Liquor.
Okay,
yeah.
but I got a new one. This is if you cheer over 10,000.
Now, are you
bids.
able to show this on the...
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
Make sure I do not screen share this.
Don't do it, Mike. Don't mess it up. It's not worth it. Show it to me later.
I'm going to make sure, okay, we're on the 2cam, so we're good. See, this is not the biggest dick liquor award. This is the Big Dick Liquor Award. Let's download it right here.
So there's
three separate. Oh, here's the Big Dick Liquor Award. Now that's prestigious, my friend.
Where did you get the piece that hangs over? Where did that come from?
I used that in the original Bamboozle Fest at Marco Island.
So that's just been hanging around the house?
It was a Ned prop. Oh shit! I almost.
Don't do it,
Almost
Mac.
did it. I almost
Not
did it.
worth it.
I almost did it. I really closely almost did it. Oh, we keep it in a safe, so that when and Donna, at one point, Donna had it in the safe.
Okay, Diddy.
She had it in the safe with a note on it that said, "This is a prop for when we die in a horrible car crash." And they unlock the safe and go, "Oh my God, Lord have mercy! What were they into?"
Yeah, because there's got to be questions when you pass and people go through rifle through your shit. There's got to be questions, and that would be one of them. Seeing that prop. That would be a major question. The fact that you guys put a note on it is great.
It
but that's
almost makes it more suspicious, though.
Yes, that's only if the person...
Right.
You're right. So, sure.
This is a prop.
It's a prop, but it's in a safe. Okay.
Half of it wasn't. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't look forward to people rifling through my shit when I pass. And not for any other reason than, like, it just seems so invasive. I almost just feel like just burn everything and just forget it. Forget it all. Forget it. Just forget it all. You know.
Nobody's rifling through my shit.
Yeah, they are.
They don't.
We've talked about this before.
You rifle through my shit now.
Well,
I always like I kept all my notebooks.
That's
I got
what I
all
mean. The notebooks.
I always thought maybe the kids might be interested. You know, their dad was wrote for the greatest radio show in the history of radio. They might want to see something. No, they're not very interested.
It's because it's difficult to you got to be in that mindset too. Like you got to understand what the times were. You know, like that's like looking at a really messed up diary of the times. Right? Like, you could go back through your notebooks and go back to, like, I don't know, 95, right?
Yeah.
And you could go, oh, here's what was going on in pop culture and historical events at the time, and here's what this man thought of them. You know, like, and that would equal out to your bit.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand the times, then of where things were at that moment, those notebooks aren't going to make a lot of sense.
Throw them right in the dumpster. Throw them right in the dumpster.
You'll never throw them away.
No, I won't. My kids will throw them in the dumpster. That's what they'll do.
Why don't you give them away at the meat hang?
Oh God, nobody wants that.
I bet you. I disagree wholeheartedly.
I don't think it's.
You won't do it. You won't part with them.
I don't know. I won't part with them.
That's what it is.
That's what. I'll wait till I get more famous, and then I'm going to sell them.
Man, eBay.
Killer JP says, Mike, you're really worried about Trace finding your giant dildo. Not Trace. Anybody else other than Trace.
Who would you be?
Like,
I mean, the fact that you have announced it here, so like it's not.
I mean, Berlin and Weston, I really wouldn't want them thinking that, I mean, that thing is massive.
It is gigantic.
It's like not a normal person would use that dildo. I don't want them thinking of their mom that way.
Dude, there was a sponsor back in the day, and it was man, I doubt, I don't know if the website's still around or not. It was can I even say the website? Is that okay? Okay.
Sure.
It was myohelper.com, and I guess the O was short for orgasm or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was myohelper.com. And this place just sent us oodles and oodles of sex toys. It was to the point where we had garbage bags of stuff to where it was like for some, I had like a garbage bag of
sex toys
at my house, and I'm going, but I just hung on to them for no other reason, just to have them. Mostly, it was just
never know.
I don't know.
The apocalypse could happen at any time.
I could get invited to a Diddy party. I don't know what's going to happen.
You show up with that.
I'm here for the freak off. They moved from like house to house with me, through time until eventually, like, I had to go, yeah, I'm not going to take this to the next place. Like, this is.
Did you just put them in the trash?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. There was
sex toys lying around on every counter at the old show.
To the point where I don't know what some of it was. Like, I have an idea of what it was, but I don't really know what it was.
Yeah, some of it you could look at it and go, "Oh, I know what that is," and some of you like, "What's that supposed to stimulate?" I don't even know.
We used to do this thing with Stormy Daniels, and she would come over to my house, and it was called Story Time with Stormy, and she would go up to my bedroom and use these toys, and then we'd
come back and give a review, or
yeah,
would you film her using them?
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing. It's like a Bubba Raw deal? or-
Yeah. And, I mean, looking back on it, it's pretty funny. I'd be just, in my townhouse, whatever. I'd be downstairs in the kitchen, just chilling. She'd be up in my room doing her thing, videotape it. And then we'd put it on Raw or whatever. And then, like, the toys would stay largely in my closet in the master bedroom. And it didn't seem odd to me at the time. It was just like another day at the office kind of thing.
You get jaded to it.
Now I look back and go, that was weird. And it was weird for so many reasons, mainly because of Stormy Daniels now being who, what that happened to evolve into. And I'm going, oh, yeah, that's the girl. Like, it's so
She's going to be in the history books. In 50 years, they'll be talking about she'll be in the history books. And there'll be a footnote. She used to masturbate with sex toys at Matt Lloyd's house. You made it. You finally made it.
I don't want to make it like that. But it is very odd to think back to some of this stuff or like see notes or some footage from stuff in the past. I'm going, oh, God.
Bubba Raw made back in serious days. I was making $1 million a year from Bubba Raw. $1 million a year.
God, yeah. I didn't get paid nearly enough off that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, if you want to tune into the ClusterFshow.com VIP section, a brand new episode of 1000% Lies.
What did you do on this one?
Somebody clued me in that he was talking about my bits, and so I went to the video, and they're talking about how my bits, were nothing but trashing him, which they were.
Yep.
They were, but they're like, well, in the beginning it was funny, because that was kind of the show, making fun of the boss, and they were funny. And then, but at the end, it was, when you're like, this is Brian Gibboni talking, the attorney, who Matroni. I don't know if you know him. He's the co-host somehow now. Somehow now he's the co-host, and he's talking about. Oh no, I forgot what I was talking.
His name's Brian Gibroni?
No, that's what Bubba named him. And so Brian Matroni, like, he's an expert on my bits. He's like, but then towards the end, when your life became a shambles, it was almost like he was punching down. And I'm like, yeah, because there was nowhere else to punch. How do you punch up to a guy who's blown he's blown everybody, the biggest dream anybody in radio ever had. He totally fucked it up like 7 times. How do you not punch down? That's the only punches there are. And then Seth goes, yeah, I know for a fact that he asked Mike Calter for a job at Cox. And it's like, personally, I would not want to work on the Mike Calter show. It's not my fit. I would not fit.
Well, then
me.
how did that guy say he knows for a fact? Like, that's
Because
a weird,
he's fucking full of shit.
what a weird thing to just say and be like, oh, I know for a fact.
See, I'm not a liar. It was like maybe a year and a half ago. I texted Calta because we've been talking. He did a FAQ, and we talked. We had lunch, and I was like, "Hey, Cox hiring?" And he said, "I'll see." And then I never heard back from him, and that was it. That's not trying to get a job on the Mike Calta show at all. I don't want a job on the Mike Calta show. I was looking for a job for me. I'm not looking to be a part. That's not my. I don't like that show. It's not my cup of tea.
Jesus.
It's not. I wouldn't fit in on that show. I don't.
Well, there is that thing about fitting in and trying to.
Yeah, I've done it before. Been on shows where you don't fit in.
Yeah, you can't force that square peg in a round hole kind of thing.
Say what you want about the old boss, but there was a chemistry with all of us that.
It matters.
Fuck.
Yeah, it does matter.
I had ungodly chemistry. I have ungodly chemistry with you. I had ungodly chemistry with him. I would say us 3. Then you got the Hatley, and the other guy.
The foils.
Then you had the foils.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get it.
I can't do a show where I don't have chemistry, and that low key Calta show is too low key for me. Just realize it's just too low key. I can't do it.
I mean, again, that would be like if Seacrest offered you a job, it's like, oh my God, it's Seacrest offering him a job.
Well, I'd take that job. 'Cause that's a fucking
Well, then-
that's
then
$1 million a year, right
Then
there.
a bad example. All right, let's take. But a top radio show like
It'd have to be a top radio show for me to
go. Okay,
Do
I
something.
will insert my personality, my dynamic into this, and know that it's not going to quite fit in,
Yeah.
but I'll wear it.
Yeah.
I'll wear it for the check, and that's kind of what.
It'd have to be a big check, though.
I'm geez, Mike.
I'm not. I'm just happy doing what I'm doing.
I
I'd
know,
rather
I
just
get it.
hang and do what I'm doing and not worry about fitting in. I fit in great with everybody on my stream.
Man,
and that's all that matters.
It's funny from week one when we started doing this. It was for me. It's the love of the game. Like that's what it is. I'm not like the Best of the Bay thing. Like it's not affected my check at all. Like my bonus structure's not changed one bit. Okay, my lifestyle hasn't been shifted because I won or didn't win this award. It's a rib. It's fun. I'm appreciative of the fact that we're able to do this, and I do it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
It's just why should we not do this? Right? That's my thing. It's like not a why should we do it? It's like why shouldn't we do it? Like we're having fun, we're chopping it up, having a laugh,
and
having
a
drink.
And the whole Best of the Bay thing was, if we'd have won, it would have been really funny that
Hilarious.
that we come on, and then the first year we're on, we get Best of the Bay. It would have been funny, but we just did it legit. If you listen to the show, vote for us. We didn't set up click farms. We didn't buy advertising.
Yeah.
So we knew we weren't going to win, but it was fun to do. And if all be told, we are the best fucking podcast out of all we beat those guys by everybody in the category by a fucking mile.
Well, and I don't know I've never, at least to my knowledge, had a conversation with the other finalist, the Mosh Gelton guy.
I've never.
But
I think he interviewed me, but I'm not sure. I did a lot of interviews when I first left, and I can't remember half the people.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that he had put on his page or on your page. I can't remember which one of like kind of like going, and they're like almost like a nod of going, hey, and they're also up for the award of best podcast. Almost like
I saw that. Yeah,
like that's cool, bro. Like. That's
cool.
a nice
That
way
is
to do
cool.
it. I'm not that socially active. I don't use social media a lot, so it's not my thing. But I am appreciative of a guy like that who is somebody who's grinding away and doing their thing.
He's
and hustling.
grinding for sure.
And win, lose or draw, he's still like, hey, by the way, Mike and Matt are cool. They're up for this category. If you want to vote for them, great. If you vote for me, awesome. I think that's a nice way of doing things these days. I think it's a lot easier to be diplomatic about some things. Back in the day, it was like scorched earth. It was like, F you, vote for this person. Like, I don't see things like that anymore. I just, I can't.
Nice guys finish last, and I'm not a guy that's going to try to get.
I'm okay with finishing. Then in this case, I'm okay with finishing last or third or whatever.
I'm not gonna try to get a click farm, to vote for me. I'm not gonna do it. I've never.
It's a lot of energy.
If it happened, it happened, and thanks for everybody who voted for us. And sorry that you were probably thwarted by a bunch of click farms and a bunch of bullshit.
But know that's the rib.
It's a rib.
Like. Know that going in, like that's the fun part. Like I think if we would have won, I don't know. I feel like I kind of would have not wanted to do the show anymore. I would have been like, well, that's
we've achieved.
That's we'll check that box off. See you later.
You don't want to get 7 rings like Tom Brady, buddy. Come on. You know you do. Just do your job.
Yeah, there's a lot of different perspectives to it, but all in all, man, I'm just, I think it's a fun thing. I appreciate people that voted for us in the category. That's it, man.
Appreciate it a lot. Appreciate the people that check us out.
And we'll just hang next week.
Just hang next week, and And you know,
I won't get that massive signing bonus that I was dreaming
I was
of.
a little disappointed. Lynn Carr had mentioned something about a click farm. I kind of already had
Oh,
it.
he didn't come through?
I think he dropped the ball. His Indian connection, he lost it.
I don't know how I'm going to go home and tell my family. That's what I'm worried about. How do I break the news?
They're going to be devastated.
Like they had I'm sure when I get home, there's going to be a cake and candles and signs and banners of going, "Hey, Dad, you're the best." And I'm no, I'm not. No.
Wow. And imagine if you're an old boss and you're trying to put a feather in your cap over you used to work for Howard Stern, and now one of your ancillary shows won the Creative Loafing Best Something Award. It's like, that's kind of sad. It's kind of real sad. It's actually tragic.
Of which, if you want me to be totally honest, and this is my honest feeling, congrats. Like I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know who they are. I don't know them. But I don't have anything.
Oh, I have nothing against.
Yeah.
I have nothing against anybody down there, other than the two guys who were lying about me on 1,000% lies. I had something.
So
for them.
other than the key players, other than that,
other their boss as well. Yeah.
What the agent? What about the agent?
He's a big FSU fan, and
okay.
I'm fucking loving this 0-3 start, man. I've watched every second of every FSU game and love it. Their season's over. Their season is over. It's over. Can you imagine? So an
0-3. I mean, you're screwed, right? Like a bowl game. What's the best you're going to get in an 0-3?
Look, there's a 12
because you still have to get in a bowl. You're FSU. You got boosters. You got a lot of. And there's a lot of efforts. Almost like
Yeah.
election rigging.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to have results.
So even if they went 0-12. Wouldn't FSU have to get something because they're FSU?
No.
I mean, I'm saying that facetiously.
But you have to, if you don't even win 6 games, you can't go to a bowl. That's the rules.
Okay.
But there's this is the first year it's a 12-team playoffs. This is a big deal. It's going to be a huge money maker. 12-team. Before there was a 4-team playoff.
Okay.
Now it's 12 teams. It's going to be huge. They're not going to make it 0-3. They fucking ain't going to make it.
Now, are they spreading out the weeks of the season
on
top of it?
The bowls are going to be. Nobody gives a shit about the bowls anymore. You got to.
So the bowls are more just like advertiser sponsorship sort of thing.
That kind of deal.
So are they stretching out the with you said a 12-team?
It's a 12-team playoff. It takes about a month. The first there's 4 teams with byes, so it's 8 teams play the first week.
Okay.
And then it's down to then there's still 8, right? Because of the 4 bye. Yeah, it takes 4 weeks. It takes about 4 weeks to play it. But it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. America loves college football, and this is.
So let's say FSU goes 6-6 or whatever.
They'll get a dog shit bowl. Look at the.
What's the dog shit bowl? Like
the Bahamas Bowl. I'm trying to think. The Tostitos is a good bowl. That's some kind of potato bowl. They get some
okay.
They're not going to get a good bowl. They're not.
Some sort of like website bowl, but not Amazon.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Some websites you never heard of.
Gotcha.
See what they do is
myohelper.com bowl.
Free dildos for all the players. What they've been doing with the normal playoff, the 4-team playoff, is like the Fiesta Bowl is one of the bowl. The Orange Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. There's like 4 top bowls.
Yeah.
The Rose Bowl, and they get the playoff games. So I imagine they will probably do that with this. So if you're not in one of the 12 playoff bowls, you're a jabroni. You're in the Sun Bowl. You're in the Butter Bowl.
Butter Bowl.
You're in the Land O'Lakes Butter Bowl.
That is a tough thing. Well, and I kind of mentioned this before. I mean, you go back, 10 years ago or whatever, 11 years ago, and they had in St. Pete here was the Outback Bowl, right? And then they and then I think Outback had dropped their sponsorship or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it became the Bitcoin Bowl, and everybody was like, "What is Bitcoin. What is this Bitcoin bull? Like, nobody knew what it was. It was a very small percentage of folks who were familiar with it. And nobody paid it any attention at all, like the Bitcoin bull.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, like I still to this day, nobody's ever written, to my knowledge, like a follow-up story on it. But I'd love to know, like, what did the Bitcoin bull roll in and sponsor? Did they sponsor it in Bitcoin? And if so, did that Bitcoin go into a treasury? And if so, what would that treasury be worth today based off the Bitcoin price 11 years ago? I mean, all of it's fascinating because
I would say that they didn't get paid in Bitcoin, and if they had, they would retire. They didn't have to do the bowl anymore, but they didn't because they didn't know.
They didn't see
they didn't know.
Yeah.
So they took the cash. They're like, no, we don't want your Bitcoin.
Yeah, you can
But
sponsor it, but you got to sponsor it in fiat.
If you had, they would be ungodly wealth. They'd be the biggest bowl.
See,
ever.
that's where I'd love a local news channel to go. 11 or 12 years ago today.
Do the math.
Do the math.
Do the math.
This is what the Bitcoin bowl. This is what Bitcoin, quote unquote, sponsored to be a part of the bowl, and this is what it's worth today. I would love to find that out, but for some reason, it's never popped up on anybody's radar, and I think it's probably because it's if you're looking back at it, it's probably one of the biggest blunders of them not embracing the Bitcoin bowl.
But you really can't blame them.
You can't blame them.
Because at that time,
you're right.
You're taking fantasy cash.
It's true. Yeah,
it could have been a big.
You're a bet on a dream kind of thing.
Been a big, f up.
But what if they said, "Hey, we'll give you, we'll sponsor it for 100,000 Bitcoin, which would be the equivalent of back in the day, probably."
It's like 500 million, isn't it? No, but I mean, right now it would be like.
Now it would be
like 500. Like
I couldn't.
It's 50,000 times
64K right now. Okay, how do we do the math?
64K times what?
So let's say
give them how many? I mean, it's
because if you
a bowl is a big deal. I think you're giving like
it's got to be $1 million, right?
Let's just give an easy figure: $1 million to sponsor a bowl.
Okay. So if you gave 1 million Bitcoin, which is
they would
1/21th of the supply,
then the Outback Bowl would be the biggest economy in the world.
Yes, the GDP of the Bitcoin Bowl.
1 million times 64,000.
I don't even know what that number means. Is that trillion? Like, what is that?
It gave you what does the E means? Wow.
Yeah, the E means
wow.
The E means St. Pete would be really rich right now. Wouldn't that be a crazy thing to think about?
I think you're getting might be getting in the billions.
Okay, so the math.
1 million times 64,000 is a lot. That's 64,000 million.
Can somebody on chat? Okay, now we're going to check the chat. So this is where the chat becomes really valuable. If anybody knows math in chat,
what is 64,000 times a million?
Would that be?
It's 64,000 million, but I don't know. That could be is that
dumb.
Is that a trillion? Is that 64 trillion?
Would that be 6.4 trillion?
Maybe 6.4 trillion. That might, and that's that you're the richest entity in the world.
Could you imagine if the city of St. Pete was like, by the way, we put the million Bitcoin that we got for the Bitcoin Bowl in a treasury in a cold wallet, and here we are.
And if you're living in St. Pete, like each city,
you're going to raise my taxes now?
No, each citizen of St. Pete gets like $1 million a year just for living in fucking St. Pete.
Bitcoin set us up for success, and we fucking biffed it.
Let's give it a cold shoulder. B Bumpy, at first he says 64 trillion, then he says 64 billion. And Triple Edged Sword says 64 billion. So if you 64 billion, that's a pretty nice.
That's a healthy number
for when you're normally getting $1 million for a
metropolis
for a bowl game.
Yeah,
$1 million. You're getting 64.
Who gets that money
billion.
anyway? I don't even know who gets that money. Like, I mean, you're sponsoring the bowl game. So what would I don't
That's
really.
a good question. I'm like, I don't know, the Outback Committee. It's like is it like the city? Is it the county? Is it a private entity? Is it the Tampa Bay Sports Authority? And what is that? Is that a city?
Okay, so let's go back. Let's go deeper, right? Let's just say it was 1 million Bitcoin.
Inkspike says it's 64 gajillion. And he might be right.
I don't know. Maybe. All right. Let's just say, I don't know what Bitcoin was 11 years. Let's say it was $3.
Yeah.
Let's say it was $5.
Let's
Let's
make it
say
easy.
$5.
$5.
And let's say they go, we'll give you 1 million Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
And again, this is not a plausible theory because that's 1/21th of the supply. It's not plausible. Let's just say. So what would that be? 5 million? What would five? If it was $5 a piece
And
times a million?
yeah, it'd be 5 million.
5 million. So you would turn that theoretically. Again, all this is theoretical. 5 million into 6.4.
No, 64
billion.
64 billion, which is, I mean, you can't even do the percent on that. Like 5 million into 64 billion.
Instead,
is like 100,000% investment.
Instead, what happened is they go, no, we're not going to take your money in Bitcoin because that's not real money.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and cash that check for 1 million cash. And then if you do the debasement over the period of time of the last 12 years of when they sponsored that million's now debasing at probably 7% a year. So that million modern day is probably worth like, what, maybe 500?
Yeah. Maybe.
I know I'm going through a crazy scenario
They
in my
really
head.
blew it. They
but
blew it.
I feel like
they'd had a vision. Trump said he's going to pay off the national debt with Bitcoin.
That ain't going to happen either. But it's not. It's a piece of it.
How much does the government have? How many Bitcoins does the government have?
I think they're they're definitely, I think, one of the top 10 holders. I think. Oh man, it's a good question. I want to say, I don't want to get it wrong. Let's see. It's a good question. I used to know this, and I don't know how much Bitcoin does the U.S. have. Allegedly, 213,297.
That's a lot. Let's see. I have to do the calculator.
I mean, meanwhile, if you look at like MicroStrategy, they've got more now than the U.S.
Okay, so how many Bitcoins do we have?
213,297.
13. That's 1,000, right? Okay. Wait, how many? 230. That'd be, maybe I got one.
It's
damn it,
13 billion basically, roughly.
Okay, 13 billion. Well, that ain't shit for the national debt then.
It's not shit, but if you 10x that,
how do you 10x it?
Over time, it'd be scarcity, supply and demand, et cetera, right? So I mean, the price go up. I mean, it's still not going to look. Our national debt's so out of control.
Yeah,
there's not enough Bitcoin in the world that I feel like it can save this, get this train back on the tracks.
We're talking about eating cats,
right? Like, that's what we're concerned about.
$35 trillion in debt, which is. I saw the chart. It was like up until 1970, it was fine.
Way up and to the right.
Yeah, then it was just like, boo.
Yes.
Like that just shows you how they finally figured out how to steal all the money. It takes a long time for these corrupt people to get their claws into everything. And they got into everything now, and they've got the media, so they're just partying on your dime, and partying like this. Yeah.
It's disappointing, yeah, because the cat thing, like it's fun to it's. I don't want to say it's fun, but it is kind of fun. It's fun to chit chat about and speculate on, and one of those like rumor mill. It's fun to gossip about eating the cats, but in reality, like, is it one of my top concerns in the country? Is it something that I think Trump should have wasted an iota of his breath on during the debate?
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Like, it's chump shit. It's chump
but
to do.
When we're in reality, okay, Springfield, Ohio, I believe it's a small town of around 20,000, and they imported 20,000 Haitian immigrants. That's the problem. Not the fact that you take a small town and you inundate them with people that they can't. I don't want to get. Well, we're ending this show.
But
anyway.
they're not there to assimilate.
They're not there to that's the thing of the past. There's no assimilation. In Chicago, I saw a town meeting. It was just happened like 2 days ago, and they approved $51 million to house illegal immigrants for 30 days, and the people of the citizens of Chicago are going, "You ain't giving us shit in years.
Yeah,
we got 400 murders." Every 6 months, and you're giving $51 million for 30 days for a month of housing, and how anybody votes for that, I don't even understand it. It's like, to me, I could be a one-issue guy, and it's this immigration. That's how you ruin countries. If you look at Europe, they're a little ahead of us, and they've ruined Europe with the unfettered immigration.
I'm a 3-issue guy. I go back to the 3. I go back to the debt, immigration, and nuclear war. Those are the big 3. Like the immigration alone doesn't set me off, but if I take all those 3 together, dude,
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Like the abortion stuff. Sorry, it's not on my radar because it doesn't apply to me, and when it does apply to me, perhaps I'll care more about it. But at this moment, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I kind of put that on the back burner. Nuclear war applies to everyone. National debt applies to everyone.
Big time.
Immigration applies to most everyone indirectly. It's not.
But
you might not see the
eventually directly.
Eventually, yeah. It's a trickle down thing. So those are my big 3, and unless you're talking about those 3 or addressing those 3, I don't care what else you're saying.
And as far as nuclear war goes, okay, I think like really poking the Russian bear, and then having drone strikes inside of Russia, that would seem like it's provoking Russia. And if I forgot what I was going to say. That's a good way to end the show. I forgot what I was going to say. I've had a lot of natural lights and some white trash mojitos, and it's 8:05.
These things happen. We've got a hurricane on the way, for God's sake. We have to prep.
I'm waiting for the 10 o'clock update.
Is that the next update? Is 10
o'clock? 10 or 11. And
Okay.
it's shifted a little. I mean, it hasn't shifted to the east, which is good. And I don't, big. All I care about is I don't care about the pool screen. That ain't no big fucking. I'll just tear it down and not have a pool screen. But
oh no!
With these pine trees crashing into my house, that's not cool. And that's all I care about. Because we're gonna get some big winds around here. I don't know if we're doing a show tomorrow. We haven't figured it out. We're waiting for the 11 p.m. advisory.
Uh-oh.
And we'll see.
Well,
shop's closed.
Oh,
that busting
sucks.
my ass today because everybody's getting their orders in before the hurricane.
But that sucks.
Barely
dude.
had time to come swim some laps at 4:45.
It does suck for local businesses, though. If you think about it, like
It does. That's a hit. That's a hit.
a big hit.
It's a hit.
1-2 days, some cleanup. Like everything's not the same for a week after. Just in general.
Yeah, it depends on who knows.
Well, good luck to everybody.
Hopefully,
Stay safe.
Hopefully, it's a hype job. Could be, I mean.
I'm going to put a lawn chair out in my backyard, and if it tips over, I'll know it's serious. If it doesn't tip over, well, then it's just another day in Florida.
Yeah, there was the one, I can't remember, it was a few years ago, and it went up through the center of the state, and it ended up coming through Zephyr Hills. So it just missed us.
Mhm.
And we were all hunkered down in the hallway out there on mattresses, and the front door was going, and we were like, fuck. Fuck. But and
Thought it was the end?
And that just missed us. If it had been about 10 or 15 miles this way, we would have had some damage.
Hey.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Hang. VIP OT coming up in just a minute, and Cluster F tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, still up in the air. No Mike and Jerry. Jerry's already bailed, and I don't blame him. He wants to drive down from the villages in hurricane force winds.
I gotta go talk to Mike.
We gotta talk
hurricane.
about right-wing politics. All right, we're out of here. We'll be seeing you on the OT. Thank you so much for hanging with us, everybody.
Yeah.
Dark Passenger says he wants to do a sports show with me. 2 hot white guys talking sports. All right, we're out. See